One of these days, we'll actually really and truly get to focus on just football. But not this day. The clown show continues. Pun intended with the Joker drop there. But Micah Parsons requesting a trade. This is the information that began to, let's say, leak last night, some of which I was privy to. Some of that information I was politely and respectfully requested to refrain from disclosing, to which I did. So we waited. We slept on it. We teased that the explosive bombshell was coming, inevitably going to drown out the project that I spent almost 2 hours working on, posting, and preparing for, the Lyle Collins workout that happens or is happening. I'm not sure what time that actually was, like I said, because I didn't get to finish. I didn't get to finish doing all of my due diligence on Lyle Collins working out for the Cowboys today as a result of Tyler Smith having a knee injury, knee tendonitis, following Tyler Guyton's 4 to 6 weeks absence, following Terrence Steele's high ankle sprain that he's since recovered from. I didn't get to talk about that. We will, of course, but for right now, there's a much bigger elephant in this room. There's also a rooster, but he's not important today either. I haven't read what Micah has said yet, but I have posted my thoughts, my initial reaction. It's live. It's on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you're following me at all three of those locations. And thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing here. 75,000 plus and counting. This is not possible without you guys. So without further ado, man, let's unpack it, okay? Not so fast. That's the underlying sentiment here. Not so fast. And I'll explain why. And then we will carry on. Here we go. Wins no matter what. You know why? Because Jerry Jones wins no matter what. You know why? Because you and I are sitting here talking about it. That $10.1 billion valuation continues to climb. That's why I said what I said last night. I knew this was coming. I wanted to talk about it. I was instructed not to, so I waited. But here we are. Micah Parsons requesting a trade. The fastest way to get a billionaire owner's attention, to speed up the process of your contract extension? Meet him in the middle. Play his own game. Perhaps even beat him at it. Public posturing, pandering, slandering, negotiation, flex, okay? Get Jerry Jones to maybe think about picking up that phone from one of the most powerful agents in all of sports. It's been a wrestling match here, a trend. It's not new. Okay, Micah knows he's Jerry Jones does too. Option right now, franchise tag next year, franchise tag again year after that if they want to. There's 3 more years of contractual control happening here. The ball's in Jerry's court. It's been in Jerry's court. It's still, he holds all the leverage. But guess what? We know that the player's going to get paid because the player needs to show, the player, they need the player on the field. And he's going to be. Especially now, maybe sooner than later, or than it otherwise would have been. Micah's smart. Jerry admitted that. One of the smartest he's ever dealt with. All right, but either way, Jerry Jones wins. Because we're sitting here talking about it. Micah's getting his contract. He's not going anywhere. But guess what? That $10.1 billion company valuation continues to climb. For what, Jerry? For what? Okay, if not for selling clicks, if not for staying relevant, staying in the headlines, playing hardball, public pandering, public slandering, not just with Micah Parsons, with Trayvon Diggs. Relevant, by the way, because this is partially responsible for this news surfacing. You saw the meme last night. That was the smoke before the volcano erupted. Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. I believe that was Bad Boys, the GIF. One last time, one last ride. Knuckle up. Here we go. I got your back, Trey Diggs. You can do right by player and team by not publicly pandering and slandering. But that doesn't make that $10.1 billion valuation continue to climb, though, does it? If not for that, then what? I'm asking. Chat, Nassim, Sergio, Nick, Champagne Poppy, Clemento Espinosa. No, that's not how it's pronounced. Clemente Espinosa. Thank you for being here, brother. I'm asking. Rel? Nick? Todd? What's up, Todd? If not for that, then what? Here's the thing. Emphasis on the part in the middle of that video there where I held up 3 fingers, 5th-year option, franchise tag again if they want, franchise tag again. It's never happened. Because you really do tank. That's probably the only team building decision that you could ever truly tank one season of your salary cap for. You guys know the salary cap is fake today. So which begs the question, I ask you again, if not for the valuation, the $10.1 billion, the richest franchise in all of sports, staying in the headlines, staying relevant, maximizing each negotiation, maximizing everything, suffocating every penny, every ounce of focus out of media, fan, player. And not just every media, fan, and player from the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking nationwide and global. Because you're not the richest franchise in the entire world if you're not global. You're a global brand. People talk. Jerry's going to get slandered no matter what. So he might as well be the bad guy, play the villain, and watch it climb. But those 3 fingers, Micah's going to be here no matter what because of the 5th-year option. He's guaranteed $24 million this year, fully. I got the numbers for you right here. Fully guaranteed. You see it? Right there. Well, now you do. Very last line here, okay? That's the beauty for the player of picking up the 5th-year option, right? That contract's fully guaranteed. That money, $24 million, unless you miss games. He starts sitting out and missing game checks, then I'll believe some of this requesting a trade nonsense. Not saying nonsense on Micah's behalf, but I'm saying reacting to the nonsense from the Joneses. I'm team player here because it shouldn't have got to this point. I don't lose sleep over them waiting. I'm not going to sit here and sweat over paying Micah 42 APY times 5 versus what they could have got him done for, when he was saying after year 3, last offseason when they reached out for the first time. We'll read that in just a second. Could have been a little bit cheaper, APY, but it doesn't matter. Ask the Eagles. Entire project breaking down what the Eagles know and what they act upon differently than any other organization, any other franchise in the National Football League. Micah was also a part of that thumbnail, part of that headline, because this deal is still not done yet. But fans are mad at the wrong thing. Don't be mad about the price. Be mad about the organization pretending like the price matters, because it doesn't. Okay, $24 million. The Joneses have him under contractual control for the next up to technically 4 years, but it's really only 3. Because nobody has ever franchise tagged any singular player for the 3rd time. It does not happen because it will absolutely cripple you. Does he have the capital to even pay Micah? So this is actually an interesting question. The answer is yes. Because unlike other owners, Jerry Jones has other business ventures where capital or liquidation of immense amounts of funds to the tune of millions upon millions of dollars, signing bonuses straight into the pockets of these players. That is, so let's understand. Let me minimize this here. That is one of the reasons that the Joneses refuse to be aggressive in free agency. You guys understand that? Because even though I can sit here and say, hear me. So, like,
listen. Okay, what? Guys, listen.
Really listen. Contracts, free agent acquisitions, big money. That is cash straight into the pocket of the player, out of the organization and into the pocket of the player. But when I say the salary cap doesn't matter, it's because that cash that goes into the pocket of the player and immediately, the bonus money isn't actually reflected on the salary cap until years into the future. That's the discrepancy. So yes, you do need liquidation, cash on hand, finances, capital. Yeah, that's why Jeffrey Lurie liquidated 8% of the Eagles 2 years ago to have extra cash on hand to put into the pockets of Saquon Barkley, into the pockets of, everybody else that he's got making double figures right now. There's about 12 guys. Add void years to the end, salary cap gymnastics, manipulate the cap, make it to where it really doesn't exist, and then wait for that new TV deal in 2030 to hit to nullify all of this when all of that money, that backloading, the kicking of the can comes to a head, and it doesn't matter anymore because the value of the NFL dollar changes over time. And the ever-ballooning salary cap more than makes up for whatever difference or deficit that you would have otherwise been in. Micah Parsons is the most prolific pass rusher in all of football. The numbers bear that out. Nobody's double-teamed more, and nobody pressures more. I didn't say he's the best edge in all of football. I know some of you are going to push back and say a guy who doesn't defend the run at the top of the league or at the top of the market doesn't deserve to be paid at the top of the market. There is nobody better when it comes to purely getting after the quarterback. Nobody's double-teamed more. Nobody gets to the quarterback more. Numbers for you. First 4 seasons, sack totals. Micah Parsons, 52.5. Other notable names, some of the best pass rushers in recent NFL history. Von Miller, first 4 seasons, 49. TJ Watt, first 4 seasons, 49. Nick Bosa, first 4 seasons, 43. Myles Garrett, first 4 seasons, 42.5. Aaron Donald, first 4 seasons, 39 total sacks. A different position, I get it. But Micah Parsons, 52.5. We'll just say it's 3. That's 3 more than the next closest. and 10 more than guys like Myles Garrett and Nick Bosa. 13 more than guys like Aaron Donald. He's going to get his $41 million on a 5-year scale with 3 years of voided years tacked on to the back end of that contract to nullify the cap impact when he inevitably does sign that massive extension. Wish I had one of my boys up in here with me right now. Nix, Sky, Steele. Oh, that's the same person. Foots, Vach. Because I feel like I'm talking to myself. I feel like nobody's listening. But there's 590 people in here right now. So I know people are paying attention. I know people are listening. I don't see Micah going anywhere. Because you just simply do not trade a multi-generational talent like him. People may say, trade him for a haul of first-round picks. Let's control the draft. Let's dominate for the years to come. Okay, cool. And then the odds would be stacked against you to have anybody who even remotely sniffs his level of ability or impact on the field. Of course, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. I understand that. We've talked about that. Y'all know my biggest concern right now with this team. It's not getting after the quarterback. I think they're going to do that with or without him. They already proved that they did. My biggest takeaways from camp, what were they? When the offense ran the football, the interior offensive line, which is the foundation of this team, and I believe that's going to be one of the most dominant, have a chance to contend for one of the most dominant interior offensive lines in football, right up there with the Eagles, right up there with the Lions and others. They had their way. I got people that are curious. Hold on. You're live on the Lando Show. What's up? You have anything important to add to the show, or you just calling to harass me? Resident Broncos fan Aaron Mason. Hey, we just talked about how Micah's first 4 years, his sack totals are 3 more than Von Miller. So taste it. Yeah. The semantics are ridiculous, aren't they? It's all right. Love you too. Thanks for joining the show. See you. He was calling to give me crap. That's one of my best friends, Aaron Mason, by the way. All-American, lefty, JUCO, stud. Where were we? AZ Cowboy, great point. Scott Knudsen says, is the K silent, Scott? I'm pretty sure it is. Let me know. Tired of the nonsense games being played. I'm with you. Micah isn't going anywhere, but this should have never come to this. Agreed. So that's where it is, all right? If you're truly about not being here, if you're Micah, then prove it. Let's see you miss game checks. Make a point. Sit out. Take it to the next level. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. See what happens. Jerry, if you're really serious about playing this game that Micah has just met you in the middle of, let's see you not pay up. Let's see what your team looks like. Let's see how much this hopeful offseason continues to buy in and really fight for one another when you are doing not just one multi-generational player wrong, but another guy who's very well respected, clearly. This is a statement, a point made on behalf of Micah Parsons, or from Micah Parsons on behalf of not just himself, but his teammates. Let's see it. Show me. Until then, it's nothing more than embarrassment. Yeah, that $10.1 billion valuation may be continuing to climb, but you're a literal clown show. in the eyes of the public. And we're sick of it. We meaning us. Great point, AZ. That's where I was going next. You didn't go out and trade for George Pickens to not compete this year. You didn't go out and trade for Kaiir Elam to not compete this year. You didn't go out and restructure Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, creating, I believe, at one point in time, what was it, $60 or $70 million in salary cap space to not compete this year. You didn't do all that just to sit on your hands or your thumb, spin around a little bit, and wait for the multi-generational talent, the best player on your roster and arguably in the entire National Football League, to get so sick and tired of your BS that he's willing to say publicly that he no longer wants to be where he truly really does want to be. Or at least he did. But the ultimate thing to consider and remember, and the unfortunate thing if you're Micah Parsons, is that you can't force your way out, regardless of what you say, no matter what you do. Unless you just miss game checks, then you could definitely take it that far and see what happens. But that's something that very few, if any, have ever been willing to do to this extent. Cowboys got you for 3 more years, man. It's the unfortunate part of leverage, power, negotiation, the CBA, whatever, the collective bargaining agreement. The ownership wins. That playing field is being leveled. We should have probably read this a long time ago. I need to shut up more often. Read the room, dude. What Micah Parsons had to say, it's pretty lengthy. It's pretty powerful. It's pretty eye-opening. But he's doing what he feels that he has to do. All right. He starts with this. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play one of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. It's still America's favorite team to hate, and it always will be because of things like this. He's not wrong. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia Eagle country, mind you. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held close to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. Context. Important context to understand here, okay? What he's saying, what he's alluding to, is what Jerry Jones has recently admitted. He doesn't deal with agents. He lets Stephen Jones do that. He likes to deal directly with the player because the player's emotions are more impactful. They are more profound. They are more malleable, if you will. He has control. The agent is the third party here that too often gets forgotten. David Mulligetta is one of the most powerful people in sports. Works for the same team, the same agency that Todd France does. Athletes First. That's Micah's agent. David Mulligetta. Just go look at the website. You'll see all the feathers in the caps of, once again, one of the most powerful men in all of sports. Jerry and Micah had an agreement behind closed doors. The agent said no. The agent wanted to wait because the agent knew that there was more money to be had, because the agent has to also act upon his own best interest too, not just the player. The agent's on the player's side, of course, but the agent is also on his own side. And he can't take team-friendly deals, especially not with players like Micah. who are going to set the market and become the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. He has a business to run. He has to attract all the rest of the top-end clientele around the National Football League to continue, once again, feathering the cap. But he's also got a collective bargaining agreement, a players' association to watch out for. The playing field is being leveled, but it's still heavily tilted in favor of the owners when it comes to the money. So Micah got tired of the behind closed doors. He requested that Jerry speak with his agent. Jerry's agent didn't love that Jerry disrespected him and pretended not to know who he was. So the hardball games began. And here we sit. I no longer want the narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done, but since there's confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. Interesting. Like I said, this is my first time reading this, guy, so I'm kind of processing it as you are as well, and we're unpacking it together. I was okay with that. Didn't complain and focus on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiation when they met at the combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the other pass rushers deals got done. I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contracts with me. See, there it is. Jerry understands that dealing directly with the player is more malleable. Emotions become more in play because it's life-changing money, not just for him and in his immediate family, but for generations before and after him. Okay. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, especially in this sport. And Micah knew that. And that's where the frustration began to grow. Not only is he the best, but you're playing the same game with him, treating him like you treat everybody else. He's not everybody else. Jerry also knows that too, and he said as much in recent weeks. Micah's one of the smartest, not just football guys that I've ever been around, but financial guys too. He knows what he's doing. And Micah is not going to sit back and wait for Jerry Jones to play his game. Micah's meeting him in the middle, and that's what this is. Let the games begin. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. I engaged in back and forth in regards to what I wanted for my contract, but at no point did I believe that this was supposed to be a formal negotiation, and I informed Mr. Jones afterwards that my agent would be reaching out thinking that would get things done. But when my agent reached out, once again, 3 alpha males, 3 powerful people, 3 really talented professionals at what they do, and 3 big-time egos. A triple-edged sword. That's what we've been talking about for months, since March, when all this began at the combine. 70+ thousand of you, at least, have been informed of what has been happening here. And now it's all coming to a head. So we continue. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones, who Stephen Jones, once again, is the one who deals with the agency. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they were ready and wanted to talk. Yet still, no call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had... Sorry, I got to keep figuring out where that ends. It's not exactly the most structured that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us where they decided and wanted to talk, yet still no call, email, text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives that I have made a tough decision, I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. That's a request. He obviously means it as a demand. I'm sure that's what he wants it to be perceived as, but the Joneses don't have to do that. It's not up to Micah. It's not up to him when he gets paid. It's not up to him when he gets traded. Those are powerful words, though, I'll admit. But I stand by what I said. I'll believe it when I see it. Franchise tag. Franchise tag. That's 2026 and 2027. Fifth year option now. $24 million, pretty much fully guaranteed, unless you decide to hold out. I'm actually curious about that. I'm not entirely sure. I know the fifth year option, there is a discrepancy. I'll have to look and double check to make sure. Like, what happens if he sits out? How much of that money does he void? So anyway, let me see what you guys are talking about, man. Let's close it out. I know my girls are ready to play. Probably both wired right now, waking up from their nap. And so there's more work to be done, and we'll continue to do that. But I want to make sure that I cover every base before I sign off here. What am I missing? Have I covered everything that needs to be covered, chat? Micah loves being in the news as well. That's probably not wrong. I think you're right about that, Sadiqa. And thank you for being here. Texas T, UL Johnson, Nathaniel Espinoza, Lando, I think we sign it by next week. Jerry loves being in the news. That's it, man. Simple. Jerry going full Al Davis. Texas T said, where'd you say it? Tell him, Sadiqa, here comes the money. Yeah. So I think what's needed to be said has been said. Actually, there's a lot more that's needed to be said, but of course, we can't talk about football right now. We can't talk about Tyler Smith. We can't talk about the connection that we predicted was going to be perfect. The dynamic duo, the triple threat that we wrote about, that we spoke about. George Pickens, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, the perfect complement for one another because of what they do, where they have thrived in their career, et cetera, et cetera. We can't talk about the pass rush, even without Micah Parsons absolutely dominating every time the Cowboys dropped back to pass in the two practices that I got to see in person in Oxnard on Monday and Tuesday last week. There's lots of reason for excitement. There's lots of things that I have praised from Brian Schottenheimer and company. The way he didn't go out and just hire his friends, the way that he has, as I predicted, not just spoken about physicality and toughness, but acted upon it. Remember, I was the crazy guy that said that the Cowboys should entertain taking an offensive lineman. Y'all hated me when I said that. And I got the receipts, trust me. I keep logs around here. I'm not keeping score for myself for being right. I'm just paying attention to who's really with me and who's really not. I got it. Biggest concern remains interior D-line. Mozzie Smith had a pretty good day yesterday. Prove me wrong, Mozzie. Before Monday or Tuesday on my drive from Oxnard to LAX, it would have been prove me right. But I saw him in person. I didn't necessarily see the same level of energy and focus and intensity from the rest of the D-line and the rest of the roster that I saw from him. I don't know Mozzie personally. It's unfair for me to speculate as if that's his character. I don't know how he conducts himself. That was my first time seeing it up close. I truly began to question it, but probably because I let the national narrative infiltrate and get to me, get the best of me. Start second guessing all these different things. You don't see people raving about him when he whoops Tyler Smith for a rep. But gosh dang it, lo and behold, he gets moved backwards one time by an all-pro left guard. Mail it in. Done. Mozzie's not even going to make the team. By the way, on a roster, that's what's craziest to me, on a roster that has no proven production at the one tech spot. I love Jay Toya as much as the next guy. I'm excited about it, but we gonna bank on a 7th round rookie at the second most difficult position to translate, to find difference making talent at and the entire sport, second only to quarterback. We gonna bet on that? You sure? You want to throw a Mozzie Smith to the Wolves right now? You sure you don't want to let him at least try week 1? You sure? I'm over here talking about Perion Winfrey, bringing that nasty. 280 or 90 pound guy. Once again, not a one tech run stopper. I know the last thing I got to talk about. And I'm going to leave this to y'all because I truly don't know. I don't have an answer or really an opinion. But I know that my guy, John Owning, feels the same way I do. I told him last night we share the same sentiment. I just want to talk about football, man. Let me go to myself. I don't know why I'm typing up John. I noticed something, and I made a project about it. I didn't get to finish it because, once again, these rumors started ruining everything. This whole situation. Okay, so Tommy Yaris posts a clip of Jaden Blue getting a touch. John Owning quotes the tweet. Y'all probably can't see this. Let me make sure you can see what I'm working with here. Can y'all see that? Yes, you can. All right, bet. If they really want their one tech to play with quickness and penetrate, why is Mozzie mirror stepping off the ball instead of vertical stepping with explosiveness? Okay, what is John saying? Mirror stepping. That's more of a two-gapping read and react style, as opposed to what Aaron Whitecotton has preached and been emphatic about all offseason as far as his philosophy. Very similar to Dan Quinn. Penetrate and attack. Get upfield and go. Don't wait. Just be explosive and go. That potentially could explain why, I'm sitting here questioning, why are we asking Mozzie Smith, a guy who has been the strength of who he is to his core, a two-gapping run stopper, a block occupier, a hey, don't move so that my second and third levels can flow and fill accordingly. Hold blocks and hold your spot. That's what he did at Michigan for Wink Martindale. But then he comes to Dallas and we want him to have another full-time job, lose 30 pounds and penetrate and do something he's never done. But if him doing what Aaron Whitecotton wants him to do, if that requires and depends upon him getting a little bit lighter so that he can just be a little bit quicker off the ball, that's been the biggest problem. Then okay, I'll listen. I'll see it through. I'll sit back and just observe. And shut up, which I admit is hard for me sometimes. But it doesn't add up to me. All right, so then that's Aaron Whitecotton's philosophy. The one way that you can potentially overcome a lack of size and physicality in the middle is with maniacal effort, pad level, and leverage. Level and leverage, maniacal effort. That's one way you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you win. And you play as a team. When that fullback inserts, that safety diagnosis quick. Donovan Wilson, Wanye Thomas, they get downhill, they feel accordingly. They're watching what that linebacker does. When that fullback inserts, creates an extra gap. Is he spilling to the outside? Is he forcing him back inside? Safety reads the backer. Backer makes a decision quick and decisive, gets downhill, shoots that gap. Safety fills, boom, everybody's covered. It's a team game. Yes, I agree. It's not just Mozzie. It's not just Jordan Phillips last year. It's not just Linval Joseph. It's not just Jonathan Hankins. It's not just Gerald McCoy. Hey, before you tear your quad, we need you, brother. We got to have you. Save us. It's not just Dontari Poe. It's not just Tommy Akingbasote. Most of y'all probably don't even know who that is. And I don't blame you. UDFA rookie, D tackle, 300 pounds. We start doing one of these. Ooh, we got us one. Because we ain't been able to plug the middle in quite some time without being desperate for it and seeking veteran help. We'll take a 40-year-old veteran because we can't do it otherwise. Come on over, Linval. Eberflus contradicted everything that we had heard from White Cotton. John saw it, and so did I. Because I had this made before I responded and saw to his tweet here. Here's my because I don't know what to make of what Matt Eberflus said. Somebody asked him early on in their press conference about, do you have to have big guys? In some positions, yes. He said it's position specific. But then he went on to directly mention, in the middle, you got to have anchors.
Spots. The double teams happen on the inside, as we know. So you're talking about 600 and plus versus 300. So those guys do have to be stout inside there to be able to hold and anchor the point inside the middle of your defense.
He said the word anchors. So that directly contradicts everything that Aaron White Cotton, so the D-line coaches all offseason long been saying, penetrate, attack. That's what we do. Eberflus today said anchor. That is a polar opposite terminology. And I know, I get it, right? You're not going to ask Jay Toia to go rush the passer. Yeah, but you're still not, based on everything that Aaron White Cotton has said, you're not asking him to two-gap read and react either. But according to Eberflus, anchor is a part of this scheme, this philosophy at the one tech spot. So there you go. Who's crazy? Am I? Are the Cowboys contradictory? Or am I just simply digging too deep? Like, I'm trying to do my best due diligence and really process things. Yes, it's a result of being worried about a position that has plagued this roster. A talented one, a 12-win team perpetually, if not for, and potentially beyond, if not for being one-dimensional, not being able to stop the run. I didn't even mean to say this the other day. But I think it was one of my strongest takes of the offseason, or at least just how I felt leaving Oxnard. I think that the deepest and most talented unit, assuming it includes Micah Parsons, which it does, for now, and will. I'm not going to pretend like it's not going to get done. It's going to get done, guys. But the deepest and most talented unit on this roster would be the edge room. That's how talented Donovan Ezeraku is. That's how talented I believe Sam Williams is going to be. And it's not just my opinion. The D coordinator, the quarterback, and the head coach are all ringing his praises. And we've actually already seen glimpses of the talent. It's just a health thing for Sam Williams at this point. And then Dante Fowler, a guy that's a 10.5 sack guy a year ago. Double-digit sacks, I think 2 or 3 times throughout his career. The fact that very well could be the 4th most prolific pass rusher on this roster should tell you all you need to know. We haven't even mentioned Oso Digizua, Solomon Thomas, who's been one of the winners of camp. Okay? That would be the deepest and most talented, or arguably the foundation of your roster. But the problem is, you have to earn the right to do that first. We know that by now. One-dimensional doesn't do it for you. So the subsequent take as a result of that fact is that the foundation The strength of the Cowboys roster is the three-headed monster in the middle, the interior offensive line, whose superpowers all just so happens to be strength. People pushing, people moving. And my daughters are ready to play, so I'm going to get out of here and go play with them before we talk again. But here's a means to support the channel. Assuming you've already subscribed, hit the like button and share this content, okay? Continue to grow. 75,000 and counting. We just reached the $5,000 mark, or the 5,000 subscriber mark this past week, so thank you guys for that. Other means are right here if you want to bypass the 30% that YouTube takes from the super chat donations. Just support the channel and me directly. You can do that on the ticker below. Thank you to getyourwaggleon.com. Everything that you see me wear on this show, hats, shirts, hoodies included. The best apparel manufacturer in the sports game. It's really golf, but they got something for everybody. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Let me know what your feedback is on this situation. And otherwise, I can't wait to talk football. I can't wait for Micah Parsons to be extended. All this to be in the rear view. It's stupid that we're even having this conversation right now, but it's got to be done, right? We got to do what we got to do. Okay. Jerry Jones. Swallow your pride one time. And let's see what this new regime